Usually when I do different combinations of spice rubs, I would rub it on some chicken. But for something a little bit different, I'm going to do a Middle Eastern spice rub on a duck. Now I've got a beautiful fresh whole duck here and I'm going to show you how to butterfly that. But before we get on to that, let's make this spice rub. So a good heaped spoon of cinnamon along with some sumac, and I love that tanginess and sweetness. Some powdered ginger, cumin, and some coriander powder. Now what I've done with these is I've just toasted them off lightly to extract as much flavour as I can from them. So just with a spoon, we'll give that a good mix. And most of these spices you'll have already in your pantry, but if you don't, get some, try them, and they go really well with duck. So once the spice rub is done, let's get on to butterflying the duck. So we'll just remove it from the pack. So lovely fresh duck. And we're going to turn the duck over, so breast side down. And by butterflying it, we need to remove this backbone that just runs straight down the duck there and the parson's nose. So get yourself some really sharp shearers just like this. You can also do it with a knife, but I find this so much easier to do, especially if it's one of your first times of doing it. And the bone in there is not as hard as you would imagine. So just cutting, following the line all the way up to the neck. So that's one side already done, so very easy. And we'll go on the other side of the parson's nose and then run the knife down the other side. So if it's resisting a little bit, it's because you just haven't got it in the right spot. Just want to make sure you're back on track along the backbone there. All right, now that we've removed that, we'll put that to the side and we're just going to spread it and just break a few of the bones, turn it back around to the breast side, and then just with a little bit of force, press down on it just to make sure that it's really even. Done. So you see how simple it is. Then we just want to get some paper toweling and just pat all of the duck dry. We don't want any of that moisture there, so just clean up that area. A touch of olive oil, just a little bit, because a lot of the fat will render from the skin there. And we'll just massage that in. And to make sure that that fat does render, get yourself a skewer and just poke, not all the way through, but just poke that skin there. Very easy to do. That'll also ensure that some of that spice rub will penetrate through the skin and then go into that lovely flesh. Now with our spice rub, we just want to sprinkle that over the top, rub it in. A little bit more. Gosh, that smells so good. Those flavours, the sumac there, I can smell the ginger. Yummo. We're also going to turn it over and then on the belly side there. Perfect. Now skin side down first. In it goes, fits just perfectly there. And then we want to give that a good 3 to 4 minutes until we get some good colour, some grill marks on there. I'm going to turn it over, and then I've got a tray here ready to go with a rack. It's a really good idea to have a rack like this in your tray, and that'll ensure all the fat renders down to the bottom, leaving us just with that beautiful thin piece of skin and perfectly cooked duck. Now I've preheated my oven to 190 degrees, and this is going to cook in the oven for about 50 minutes. Now the duck has come out of the oven and I've allowed it just to rest on the tray there, just so the juices can relax. It smells incredible. You can smell the cinnamon and the sumac. I love this. And this is a real share platter in the middle of the table. So I like to leave it whole and dress it on the board, and then we can carve it at the table. So here's a little dressing to go with it. Duck's quite rich, so it goes nicely with the tartness of some yogurt. So sticking with the Middle Eastern theme, a little bit of yogurt into a bowl with some extra sumac, just a slight pinch. We've got a lot of spices on the duck already, so we just need a small amount. I just love the look of the speckles throughout that yogurt also. And I'll get a teaspoon here. For some sweetness, a touch of honey, beautiful, and some garlic. Now this one is huge, so I only need a small amount. I've only got a little bit of yogurt also, so we just want about 1/4 teaspoon of that garlic there because it is quite strong. And if you haven't used preserved lemon, give it a go. You can get it from all the supermarkets now. If you can't find it at your local supermarket, you'll find it at some delis. Now, we want to take the flesh out because what we're looking for is the peel. So just scrape it. It's very soft, so just be careful not to break it up. And then I'll just get a bigger knife. And it is really, really strong, so you only need a small amount of it. Cut it into fine slices. I'll use half of this. Turn it around, and then a fine dice there. This just gives it such a wonderful freshness there. Hint of saltiness too. And then we'll give that a really good mix. Now, I want to be able to drizzle this yogurt over the duck for presentation. So if it's a little bit thick, just water it down with a touch of water here. So it's not going to be really blobby. And then, just with your spoon, this is the sauce for it. Just going to smear it over the top there. You can place a bowl next to it if you like. I like the look of this. And then fresh mint over the top is totally appropriate with this duck dish. Tear it up. And I would serve this with a big bowl of yummy couscous salad. Even a tabbouleh would work nicely with this. This is my Middle Eastern inspired roast duck.